So Bronxie boarded with me last weekend. She's a previous board and train client, but my boarding includes touch-up obedience training. So that's what we're doing in this video. It was very cold and yucky out, but we both prevailed. Everything in this video is off leash, so we are just using her e-collar for the training, and really we did not need the e-collar too much, but as you'll see later on in this video, she does have the intelligence to decide to test boundaries, and that's kind of the main point of this video. Is I want to kind of show some of the behaviors that dogs will throw at their owners because they know how to manipulate. As you can probably tell by reading the title of this video, Bronxie is a very intelligent girl, and she absolutely does use that to her advantage. She's also a very excitable dog as well, and you can even see it in the heeling. She almost looks like a racehorse walking up to the track, which is really great for obedience. We can make the dog look really cool, really flashy. She really likes the training, but you have to be careful with your energy as well. So you'll notice I'm pretty flat throughout this entire training. I'm really calm. Anytime she messes up, I'm not really making a big deal. I'm literally like in the heel, I'm literally just backing up, using her e-collar to stim her and waiting for her to fix herself. Because if I start freaking out, she's gonna start getting her way. So that's kind of what she wants, is she wants to kind of raise the energy of the interaction and go a little crazy. And she was eating some kibble out of the grass there. But the smarter your dog is, the more they're probably going to test you. And you'll see later on in this video, she gets very flamboyant about it. Like she'll start trying to roll on your leg and act like she's never done this in her entire life, when I know for sure she has. There she messed up in the heel again, so I just walked backward and stimmed her. Whenever my dog does something wrong position-wise, I make it a little more wrong, and we are practicing different paces as well. So I go regular pace, fast pace, and slow pace. The slow pace she does have a little bit of trouble with. That's all right. This is kind of a new picture for her. She thinks she's supposed to be sitting. But for example, if my dog is heeling too far ahead of me, I'm gonna back up and make them even more ahead of me. If they are too far behind me, I'm gonna speed up my walking and make them even more behind me. I don't want to be helping the dog find the position, because if I'm moving myself to be in the heel position, my dog is teaching me to heel. And that's not really the point of this. The point is for her to know heel means walk by my left leg, sit means sit by my left leg. Just all of that stuff is always going to be the same for her. And she does start trying to train you. She is very smart, as I said, and she will continue to try and play with the boundaries a little bit and see what she can get away with. So clarity and consistency are going to be very, very important for her, making sure that every single time I tell you to do something, I'm always going to follow it up, whether that's followed up by a correction for not doing it or a reward for doing it. I want everything to be super black and white for her, because she will easily make her own rules, and it gets very confusing for the dogs when sometimes, you know, the decisions are up to them, and then sometimes the decisions are up to us. They don't really do well with that. So consistency is going to be incredibly important. And I slowed down this clip because she is giving you some like kind of stress signal behaviors. And I wanted people to see that I didn't even notice her get up before she started acting that way. So she already knew she was breaking the command before I even marked it with a no and fixed her. I slowed it down because I think oftentimes on the internet, people will easily form opinions on what happened without truly looking at the situation. And as I said, Bronxie is a little bit of a manipulator. She's very smart, but she's also very sensitive too. So like emotionally, she's kind of sensitive. So when you correct her, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. She's almost offended by the correction. That doesn't mean our corrections are harsh or like super crazy, adversive. You know, we're not helicoptering dogs over here. She has just learned that acting kind of messy gets her what she wants, and the more she reacts to things, the more she gets what she wants. So she is a very emotional dog. She's definitely very easy to read. She definitely threw some stress signals up on that sit when she broke it. But it was even before I corrected the sit that she did that. And that's where it can get difficult for owners, because they think, not this dog in particular, but like, for example, a fearful dog, they think, oh my gosh, they're so scared of everything and they're just so sad, and maybe they have a crazy abuse story to go with it or something like that. And they tend to baby that behavior even more in the dogs. So when the dog is showing me instability, I need to be even more stable. So even if she's freaking out at a correction, that just means my corrections need to happen consistently, fairly, and calmly, to start taking away some of those gray areas so she doesn't have to worry. If I made a big hoopla about her breaking that sit, then yeah, it's going to continue to get worse. But instead, I gave her no real feedback on it. I just continued my black and white rules of I tell you to sit and you stay in that sit. So here I told her to down, and she's showing me super submissive behavior. You can see the tail is tucked. She came over with her butt kind of tucked under. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She's trying to roll over on my legs. That's not a fear response right there. That is her trying to avoid doing the work. So that's something that her owners see quite often with her. And again, feeding into that energy only makes it worse. So all I did when she was giving me that little submissive, oh, please don't make me do it, I don't want to, down is just so horrible. I just kind of kept calm, and I was like, no, that's not the answer. I didn't talk to her. I didn't laugh at it. I didn't do anything. I stepped away, didn't allow her to continue rubbing herself on my legs, and just re-asked her, no, down. And kind of set that clear rule. And if she gets a little bit butthurt about it, she gets a little bit butthurt. But over time, she should start to pick up that the rules are really clear, and she can stay out of trouble just by doing what she's supposed to do. And there she's kind of testing me again with the half up, half down, with the elbows up. So she really is just trying to see, hey, what can I get away with? There she was a little bit unclear as to what we were doing, because we're sitting here doing a bunch of stays and downs. She's like, oh, you wanted me to heel with you. And that's why consequences are so important. I want the dog to be confident in what they're doing. And that's why consequences, both, punishment and reward, are really going to help build confidence in the dog. What I see, when she's giving me this little sad kind of droopy ear look, is her just not being sure about what she's kind of doing and what's going to come next. So consistency is, again, very, very important for her and similar dogs to her. Now, if I had like a fearful dog that was freaking out all the time, and the owners will typically be like, oh, it's okay, baby, oh, you don't need to do that, oh, it's not scary, and they're kind of babying the dog a little bit, that's not going to help their confidence. It makes us feel good as people because we want our dogs to be happy and confident, but we're basically telling the dog that there is in fact a problem and a reason to be scared, whereas alternatively you can just be like, yeah, let's say like that plastic bag that you're scared of, yeah, it's scary, whatever, but your job is heel, and you're going to always be safe when you're doing what I tell you to do, like heel and sit and down. And there's always going to be rewards for doing what you're supposed to do and consequences for not doing it. And that takes away a little bit of a stressor. They're not having to self-manage. They're not having to, defend themselves against the nature of the world. All they have to do is heel, and mom's going to give them a cookie. You'll also notice I don't talk a lot when I'm training in any of these videos. This clip is just because her ears looked silly. But I don't talk a whole lot because I don't want my dog to start tuning me out. You know how someone just talks nonstop, and you just start tuning them out? Or if you have the TV playing all the time, you don't really hear it. The same thing's going to go with our dogs. And I see this, honestly, biggest culprit is going to be people that do bite work. If you don't know, I do decoy stuff. And people are constantly jib-jabbing away at their dog while it's on the bite, and the dog just learns to ignore them. So even with the fearful dog, I'm not going to go, oh, it's okay, it's all right, Pookie, whatever. I communicate to my dog when they need that communication. Dogs primarily communicate through body language. Humans were very auditory, vocal, and so dogs really don't care about you talking to them a whole lot. So I would much rather have my words be super important when they happen than the dog constantly seeking out the validation maybe of me talking.